Back, everybody, for our afternoon session of Nyung Nä. Before we begin, there was one question that several people had about the mantra count. So, in a group Nyung Nä, as long as the chant master completes the mantra count of 108, then there's no need for everyone else to do so. So don't worry if you haven't completed it. So at both the self generation and the front generation, we do mantras, and if you're by yourself, you would have to do 108, but that could be of any mantra. So in the self generation, you'll see the number 107 of the essence mantra, but that's because you've already recited one of the long mantras, and 107 makes 108. But also, if that's too much, you can also do Monomani Padme Hum and get 108. But as I say, in this context with the chant master, then there's actually not necessary. And in any case, we do the Mani Padme Hum Zervamalas afterwards, so everyone will complete that count. So now to start the third session, we can just sit quietly for a few minutes. Okay. So we'll start the session with the abbreviated calling the guru from afar, which is on, well, I'm not sure what page it's on in your book. Yeah. Okay. 14 in the PDF file. We can chant this in Tibetan. nhớ hoa nhớ đô dân ghi love gì nèo đô điệu dân ghi love gì đồn đô điệu dân ghi love gì Dalen lamenam padavama gijik samyan ludami geji Jite levado we mugugi lame jilabda ladu bajo Dalen zoe lamarin buje dahi ninga vela dunjulam Alin demogone jizunde guzundugi morubzaduzo. So now we go to the appendix 3 for some additional prayers. So what we'll do, we have the praise and prayer to Noble Avalokiteshvara, which you see, the bringing forth the rains of happiness and well-being. We'll do that on the fasting days and not on the non-fasting days, not today. Also, when we do it, I need to borrow because it's not complete here. It's okay. Yeah, it's missing in the book. Yeah. And then what we'll do on the fasting days today, as non-fasting days like today, we'll do the direct meditation on the graduated path, followed by the request to the Supreme Compassionate One. So 161 is the direct meditation on the graduated path. Essence encompassing all the Buddhas, originator of all the holy Dharma of scriptures and realizations, principle of all those Aryas intending virtue, to the glorified holy Gurus I make for refuge. Please, Guru, bless my mind to become the Dharma to become the path, and not to have obstacles to the path. Please bless me, enlightenment is achieved, like the youthful Norzong and Bodhisattva always crying one, to be able to devote to the virtuous friend with pure thought and action, see whatever is done as pure, and accomplish whatever is said and advised. Please bless me to see that this greatly meaningful body with 18 readings and realm righteousness is difficult to find and easily perishes, that action and result are so profound, and the sufferings of the evil gone transmigrating beings are so difficult to bear. Therefore, to go for refuge from the depths of my heart, the three sublime ones, and to abandon negative karma, accomplish the practice of virtue according to the Dharma. Please bless me to see that in dependence upon that, even though I achieve the mere higher rebirth of a deva or human, I'll have to experience suffering endlessly in samsara, because of not having abandoned and being under the control of the disturbing thought obscurations. Therefore, by reflecting well upon the way of cycling samsara, be able to follow continuously day and night the path of the three types of precious higher trainings, which is the principal method liberating from samsara. In dependence upon that, even if I achieve mere liberation, please bless me to see that there is no sentient being of the six types who has not been my father and mother. Therefore, thinking that I must fulfill their purpose, may be able to reverse the mind seeking the lower happiness of nirvana, and by way of equalizing and exchanging myself for others, generate the precious mind of enlightened bodhicitta. Follow the conduct of the sons of the victorious ones, the bodhisattvas, the six paramitas, and so forth. By having trained my mind in the common path like that, experiencing the sufferings of samsara for a long time will not upset me. By regarding sentient beings with extraordinary, unbearable compassion, please bless me so that I may enter the quick path of the Vajrayana teachings, protect my vows and samaya more like my life, and quickly accomplish the unified Vajradhara state on the lifetime only of this generate time. Namo Guru Lokeshvaraya. Praise to the beautiful four-armed Lord of the world, sublime embodiment emanating from the unity of all the victorious ones of the three times, possessor of all knowledge and holder of the lotus. Your immaculate feet beautifully ornament my crown. May the karmic pollution of myself and others be washed away with the cool tear of your compassion, great loving protector. Sole refuge of pitiful transmigrating beings who have no guide. You generated the bodhicitta first and then reached the extreme limits. O merciful one, please behold with your compassion die, the beings of the evil gone, caught in realms difficult to escape, experiencing their individual result of evil actions, as hell beings are preyed down, those amongst the animals of Ceres and so on. Behold with compassion thoughtless ones who return empty-handed. The earth was without meaning. Their homing bodies were so rare and fragile, their lives are consumed only in suffering. Amidst their endless actions, the Lord of Death arrived. Behold with compassion tough-skinned beings like me, who maintain a religious manner but not achieve the great meaning, being overwhelmed by attachment, hatred, and hate worldly concerns, without having subdued our minds by observing cause and result. Compassion, please lead us without refuge in the path, for when our vision of this life fades, the vision of our self-created karma arises, the enemy in the bardo. We are taken on the precipitous route by Yama's messenger. Look upon us with compassion, the Lama Chenrizi. Mother attached by compassion to all sentient beings, who is the special snow refuge of the snowland. May on others we attain your state of enlightenment. Okay, so now turn back to the instantaneous generation. I instantaneously arise as the holy body of the great compassionate one. Blessing the offerings. Om Padma the great Khor, Om Sabhava Shira Savatama Sabhava Shiro Om. The offering substance become just empty. From within emptiness, from broom syllables vast and extensive, precious vessels arise. When each the syllable Om melts into light, from which arise drinking water, water for the feet, flowers, incense, lamps, perfume, food, and music. Empty in nature, they have the aspect of the individual types of offerings, and function to bestow special uncontaminated bliss. Om Ha Brahma, Om Dharima, Om Bhujbhya, Om Dubhya, Om Alagya, Om Gandhya, Om Devarya, Om Shabda. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Rama, and the Supreme Assembly, my collections of generosity and so forth, and become a Buddha to benefit all migrating beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. My collections of generosity and so forth may become a Buddha to benefit all migrating beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. My collections of generosity and so forth may become a Buddha to benefit all migrating beings. With a thought desiring to liberate migrating beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha till the heart of enlightenment is achieved. With perseverance, acting with wisdom, compassion, and loving kindness in the presence of the Buddhas, to benefit of sentient beings that generate the thought of full enlightenment. With a thought desiring to liberate migrating beings, I always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until the heart of enlightenment is achieved. With perseverance, acting with wisdom, compassion, and loving kindness in the presence of the Buddhas, to the benefit of sentient beings that generate the thought of full enlightenment. With a thought desiring to liberate migrating beings, I always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha till the heart of enlightenment is achieved. With perseverance, acting with wisdom, compassion, and loving kindness in the presence of the Buddhas, for the sake of a benefit of sentient beings that generate the thought of enlightenment. Rays of light emanate from the white Hri that rests on the moon disk at the heart of oneself, visualized as the great compassionate one. Invoking from the natural abode, Gurya Arya, great compassionate one, having the aspect of 11 faces, surrounded by the root and lineage gurus, the assembly of deities of the great compassionate one, and an assembly of meditational deities, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Dakas, and Dakinis, Dharma protectors and guardians, all abiding in the space before me on a wide-stemmed, thousand-petaled lotus. So now we rise to the limb of prostrations. Embodying all Buddhas and holders of the Vajra, roots of the three sublime ones, to all Buddhas I prostrate. One never tires of seeing your Vajra but his beauty. Its qualities beyond thought, to Guru's forms I prostrate. Melodious Brahma-like speech roars like the mighty lion, terrifies non-believers. To Guru's speech I prostrate. Wisdom of bliss and voidness, like spaces free of concepts, dwelling in triple freedom. To Guru's minds I prostrate. Sugata's Dharmakaya, you seal 6 realm beings. 11th head pervades all, Amitabha I prostrate. Who helps according to need, with eyes of thousand Buddhas, with eyes of thousand, arms of thousand monarchs, to Chenrezig I prostrate. Dakini Lakshmankara, Marianda Vajuna, Yeshe Zambulda Gelsen, lineage I prostrate. Chenrezig's great compassion, Jushi's mindful knowing, Somkapa Jula sages, Rosandrapa I prostrate. Pardon's great compassion, Hashin's boundless merit, founders who are all-knowing, Tatakatas I prostrate. The path of sublime meaning, which frees us from our passions, frees us from suffering realms, to Dharma's peace I prostrate. Abiding in 3 trainings, showing the path of freedom, endowed with realization, sublime Sangha I prostrate. Born into the Shakya clan, destroyer of all evils, with form like a golden mountain, to Shaka's king I prostrate. A refuge for the guideless, you prevent untimely death. Chief of the guides of this world, Amitayas I prostrate. Bhagavan with great compassion, you cleanse a poison sickness, purify bad migrations, Lapis Buddha I prostrate. You with youthful appearance, adorn the lamp of wisdom, dispel darkness of 3 worlds, to Manjushri I prostrate. Much praise by all the Buddhas, thus merits you collected. Even the name Chenrezig, always to you I prostrate. Sangedra and Ignore, Pamavar, Yusha. And to you, Hala Hala, Chenrezig I prostrate. Pagandor Jechu Wanchu, Dringonan Hari Hari. Eyes of 10 directions, all Chenrezigs I prostrate. Tari frees from samsara, to Tari from heat fears. Tari frees from all disease, Mother Tara I prostrate. His scare is Mahabala, his mantra king, your virtues, taming all the unsubdued, Vajrapani I prostrate, equaling all the atoms of earth, my body's prostrate, with confidence unshaking to all those worthy of praise. Homage to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You lions among humans of past, present, and future, in all corners of this world, with all my 3 doors I bow. By power of this prayer, seeing Buddhas directly, I bow to them with bodies as many as all atoms. On each atom are Buddhas as many as all atoms. Like this I have conviction that everywhere are Buddhas. Acclaiming all these Buddhas with endless oceans of praise. Ocean-like melodious sounds I sing Sugata's praises. The best of all the flowers, garlands, symbols, and ointments. As parasols and incense I offer to the conquerors. Supreme fragrances, garments, a mountain of medicines. Exquisite things well displayed I offer to the conquerors. With strong faith and good actions I prostrate to all conquerors. For them these offerings extensive and unsurpassed. Limb of offering. Offering goddesses arise from the Khri at one's heart and make offerings. O Maria Lugijnana Zabare Warum Agam Pradeja Zoha. O Maria Lugijnana Zabare Warum Adyam Pradeja Zoha. O Maria Lugivara Zabarewa Ujbe Bradija Zuha. O Maria Lugivara Zabarewa Ube Bradija Maria Lugi Vara Zabari Waram Aluge Bradi Jazua Maria Lugi Vara Zabari Waram Gende Bradi Jazua Maria Lugi Vara Zabari Waram Nivedye Bradi Jazua Maria Lugi Vara Zabari Waram Abda Bradi Jazua. So we'll do the extensive mandala this time. Kebaduyam Padruk Tuje Jembo Lazu Horan Jeba Nama Jingam Buwagyu Tuje Rueron Tuje Zozo Jineran Dakzu Gruwa Kangi Namki Tadan Yambe Chentam Jela Dukze Wa Jembo Ne Jingilo Tuzo Zajivogi Meridom Kamriralini Nire Gyambari Zagijendo Menevoargi Rogunandajila Shivayodagijada Mongzungewen Yudanyambarzum Ludan onjuje Angameva Bugilene Dugzurang Zadruwa Jingilo Belenlame Utedama Anganyanyongla Vegejongwara Sarjemalu Sozadrilame Yoduzangetomba Okay, so again we stand for the, wait one, actually, first we recite. Whatever evil I have done with my body, speech, and mind, I confess on the control of attachment, hatred, and confusion, ignorance. I confess them individually. And we can recite the mantras together too. From the dedication to Brada Bayana, the Zange, when she gets on the drugs alone, from the dedication to Brada Bayana, the security she gets on the drugs alone. From the dedication to Brada Bayana, the security she gets on the drugs alone. From the dedication to Brada Bayana, the security she gets on the drugs alone. From the dedication to Brada Bayana, the security she gets on the drugs alone. From the dedication to Brada Bayana, the security she gets on the drugs alone. From the dedication to Brada Bayana, the security she gets on the drugs alone. And no Bhagavati Ranaki Raja, Dedicataya, Hi, Samudaya. Adam Rani Rani Maharani Rani Vijay Soha Nama Bhagavati Rani Gadaya Dadikadaya Zambudaya Adam Rani Rani Maharani Rani Vijay Soha Nama Bhagavati Rani Gadaya Dadikadaya Zambudaya Adam Rani Rani Maharani Rani Vijay Soha Nama Bhagavati Rani Gadaya Dadikadaya Zambudaya Adam Rani Rani Maharani Rani Vijay Soha Nama Bhagavati Rani Gadaya Dadikadaya Zambudaya Ram Rani Rani Maharani Rani Vijay Zoha Namo Bhagavati Rani Kedara Jaya Dedikadaya Tirthan Examburaya Ram Rani Rani Maharani Rani Vijay Zoha Namo Bhagavati Rani Kedara Jaya Dedikadaya Tirthan Examburaya Ram Rani Rani Maharani Rani Vijay Zoha. Okay, so now we stand for prostrations. Om Namo Manjushri Namah Sushri Namo Dhamma Soha. Om Namo Manjushri Namah Sushri Namo Dhamma Soha. Om Namo Manjushri Namah Sushri Namo Dhamma Soha. I tend to guide you through at all times. Take refuge in the Guru, take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. I tend to guide you through at all times. Take refuge in the Guru, I take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. I tend to guide you through at all times. Take refuge in the Guru, I take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. The founder Bhagavan Hadadagaraha, the wicked Buddhist Buddha, who is conquered Shakti, but I prostrate. The Hadagara, thoroughly strong with the right since I prostrate, the Hadagara radiant jewel I prostrate. The Hadagara King Lord of the Nagas I prostrate, the Hadagara armor of heroes I prostrate. The Hadagara lighted hero I prostrate, the Hadagara blue fire I prostrate. The Hadagara jewel moonlight I prostrate, the Hadagara meaningful sea I prostrate. The Hadagara jewel moon I prostrate, the Hadagara stainless one I prostrate, the Hadagara bestowed with courage I prostrate. That I got a pure one I prostrate, the Bhagavad Gita with purity I prostrate, that I got a water God I prostrate, that I got a deity of the water God I prostrate. That the glorious goodness I prostrate, the glorious sandalwood I prostrate. That I got infinite splendor I prostrate, that I got a glorious light I prostrate, that I got a starless glory I prostrate. To that head I got a sun house and sun craving I prostrate, that I got a glorious flower I prostrate, that I got a pure light I school and on my play I prostrate. That I got a lotus light I school and on my play I prostrate. That I got a glorious wealth I prostrate, the glorious mindfulness I prostrate, that I got a glorious name while around I prostrate, that I got a king holy victory in formless power I prostrate. To that had I got a glorious wonder, the glorious doing I prostrate, that I got a victorious in battle I prostrate. That I can glorious transcendence to doing I prostrate, that I got a glorious manifestation illuminating all I prostrate. That I got also doing the Lord I prostrate, that I got a heart of the good Buddha. King Lord of the mountains, from my citizens, the Lord I prostrate. The bound Bhagavan had heart of the completed Buddha, glorious conquered Shakyamuni Buddha, I prostrate. That I got a thoroughly strong and butter since I prostrate, that I got a radiant jewel, I prostrate. That the King Lord of the Nagas, I prostrate, that I got a meteors, I prostrate, that I got a delighted hero, I prostrate. That I got a good fire, I prostrate, that I got a Jumnu I prostrate, that I got meaningful sea, I prostrate, that I got a Jumnu I prostrate, that I got a stainless one, I prostrate, that I got a bestowed of courage, I prostrate, that I got a pure one, I prostrate, that I got a bestowed of purity, I prostrate. To that had I got a water God I prostrate, that I got a deity, the water God I prostrate. To that had I got a glorious goodness I prostrate, that I got a glorious mindfulness I prostrate. Glorious sandalwood I prostrate, that I got a infinite splendor I prostrate, that I got a glorious light I prostrate, that I got a starless glory I prostrate, that I got a sun of uncraving I prostrate. To that had I got a glorious flower I prostrate, that I got a pure light resplendent and wet play I prostrate. To that I got a lotus light resplendent and by play I prostrate. To that had I got a glorious wealth I prostrate, that I got a glorious mindfulness I prostrate. To that had I got a glorious name while I down I prostrate, that I king holy victory, banner, fullness, power I prostrate. That I got a glorious one to doing I prostrate, that I got a victorious in battle I prostrate. That I got a glorious transcendence doing I prostrate, that I got a glorious manifestations illuminating all I prostrate, that I got also doing true lotus I prostrate. The that I got a heart, but look at Biddy Buddha, King and Lord of the Mountains, firmly seated on the lotus I prostrate. As I found a Bhagavan, Hadagada, heart, but look at Biddy Buddha, glorious conquer Shakimini Buddha I prostrate. That Hadagada. Third, the strong of the water essence I prostrate, that I got a radiant jewel I prostrate.
Tadagata King Lord of the Nogas, I prostrate. Tadagata Army of Heroes, I prostrate. Tadagata Lighted Hero, I prostrate. Tadagata Jewel Fire, I prostrate. Tadagata Jewel Moonlight, I prostrate. Tadagata Meaningful to See, I prostrate. Tadagata Glorious Moon, Jewel Moon, I prostrate. Tadagata Stainless One, I prostrate. Tadagata Bestowed with Courage, I prostrate. Tadagata Pure One, I prostrate. Tadagata Bestowed with Purity, I prostrate. Tadagata um, water God I prostrate, that I got a deity, the water God I prostrate, that I got a glorious goodness I prostrate, that I got a glorious sandalwood I prostrate, that I got a glorious infinite splendor I prostrate, that I got a glorious light I prostrate, that I got a starless glory I prostrate, that I got a sun from the craving I prostrate, that I got a glorious flower I prostrate, that I got a pure light exquisite and by play I prostrate, that I got a lotus light exquisite and by play I prostrate, that I got a glorious wealth I prostrate, that I got a glorious mind palace I prostrate. To that had I got a glorious name widely renowned I prostrate, that I got a king hunter the victor, banner from his power I prostrate, that I got a glorious one totally subduing I prostrate, that I got a victorious in battle I prostrate, that I got a glorious transcendence to subduing I prostrate, that I got a glorious manifestation illuminating all I prostrate, that I got also doing jewel lotus I prostrate, that I got a harp of look at the Buddha, king Lord of the mountains, firmly says until the lotus I prostrate. The Bhagavan Haraharagadahar, Salinga Buddhist Buddha, Namguris, King of Excellent Signs I prostrate, the Bhagavan Haraharagadahar, Salinga Buddhist Buddha, King of Bloodiest Sound, brilliant radiance of skill, adorned of jewels, from the lotus I prostrate, the Bhagavan Haraharagadahar, Salinga Buddhist Buddha, stand as excellent God, who living in jewel, who accomplishes all conduct I prostrate, the Bhagavan Haraharagadahar, Salinga Buddhist Buddha, glorious supreme one, free from sorrow I prostrate, the Bhagavan Haraharagadahar, Salinga Buddhist Buddha, Lydia's Sasha proclaimed Dharma I prostrate, the Bhagavan Haraharagadahar, Salinga Buddhist Buddha, equivalent known with the play of supreme wisdom, the notion of Dharma I prostrate, the Bhagavan Haraharagadahar, Salinga Buddhist Buddha, meditating King of Sapphire, light I prostrate.
Next, the confession prayer. All you 35 Buddhas and medicine Buddhas and others, as many Tathagata, Kalingana Buddhist Buddhas, who are complete existence sustaining and residing in all the world system, the 10 directions, like Buddha Bhagavans, please pay attention to me. This life and all sorts of rebirth in which I have circled and samsara through our beginningless lives. Whatever connection I have created, may others create the creation of. Possession of the stupid, possession of the Sangha, possession of the Sangha of the 10 directions that I have appropriated. That is appropriate adoration, the appropriation of. Chief among the 5 actions, immediate retribution I have done, cause to be done, rejoice in the doing of. Chief of the 10 non-virtuous paths of action I have engaged in, others to engage in, and rejoice in the engaging of. Whatever I have done, being obscured by these karmas that causes me to be born as a sentient being in the hell realm, and the animal realm, and the preta realm. Near later this country as a barbarian, there is long life God, with imperfect faculties, holding wrong views, and not being pleased with Buddha's descent. In the presence of the Buddha Bhagavans who are of infinite wisdom, or eyes, or witnesses who are valid, through the mission consciousness, I admit and confess all these negativities. I will not hide them to the future. I'll abstain from beginning them again. All Buddha Bhagavans, please pay attention to me in this life and all the states of rebirth in which I have circled in samsara through beginningless lives. What fruits of virtue I have created by generosity, even little as giving just one mouthful of food to a being born in the animal realm. What fruits of virtue I have created by guarding morality, what fruits of virtue I have created by following pure conduct, what fruits of virtue I have created by following ripening sentient beings, what fruits of virtue I have created by getting bodhicitta, what fruits of virtue I have created by my unsurpassed and of wisdom, always assembled and gathered, combined together, I follow thee to get to the unsurpassed, the unexcelled, that higher than the high, the superior to the superior. Thus I completely dedicate to the highest, perfect, the complete enlightenment. This is the previous Buddha Bhagavans are fully dedicated, just as the future Buddha Bhagavans will fully dedicate. This is the presently abiding Buddha Bhagavans are fully dedicating like they would dedicate fully. I confess all negativities individually, I rejoice in all merits. I urge and request all the Buddhas may achieve the high supreme, holy, purely, transcendental wisdom. The conquerors, the best of humans, those who are living in the present time, those who live in the past, and those who will likewise come. For all those who have qualities as vast as an infinite ocean, with hands full that I approach refuge. And we'll do the general confession also on the next page. Woe is me, O great Guru of Adadara, all another Buddhist Bodhisattvas who dwell in the 10 directions, and all the Venerable Sangha, please pay attention to me. I whom named Tenzagache, circling in cyclic existence at beginningless time until the present, overpowered by mental afflictions such as attachment, hatred, and ignorance by means of body, speech, and mind, have created the 10 non-virtuous actions. I have engaged in the 5 interrupted karmas, the nearing uninterrupted negative karmas. I've transgressed the vows of individual liberation, transgressed the vows of bodhisattvas, and transgressed the vows of Samayas of secret mantra. I've been disrespectful to my parents, I've been disrespectful to my Vajra masters and my abbot. I've been disrespectful to my spiritual friends living in the nation. I've committed actions harmful to the 3 rare sublime ones, abandoned the holy Dharma, criticized the Arya Sangha, harmed sentient beings, and so on. These and many other non-virtuous negative actions I have done, caused others to do, and rejoiced in doing others doing, and so forth. In the presence of the great Guru of Adadara and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who abide in the 10 directions and the Venerable Sangha, I admit this entire collection of faults and transgressions that are obstacles to my own higher rebirths and liberation, and causes of cyclical existence and miserable lower rebirths. I do not conceal them and I accept them as negative. I promise to refrain from doing these actions again in the future. By confessing and acknowledging them, I will abide in abundant happiness, while by not confessing and acknowledging them, true happiness will not come. To now sit for the completion of the seventh doctrine. I rejoice in all positive potential of the Buddhists and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, spiritual training, and those beyond, and of all transmigratory beings. I'll just pause for a moment to rejoice. You who are the bright lights of worlds in 10 directions, who have retained the Buddha's omniscience to the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, placed in the supreme wheel of Dharma, with palms together, I earnestly request you may actualize Peri Nirvana. Please stay with us for I am as numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight virtue I have accumulated by prostrating, offering, and confessing, I did all this for full awakening. Mama gaji la zambara bara bara mahajuda zadva baba vibhujina Uja dara dara zamanda havalagi de humbe zuham O mama gaji la zambara bara bara mahajuda zadva baba vibhujina Uja dara dara zamanda havalagi de humbe zuham Om Namo Gashila Sambara Bara Bara Juda Zada Baba Vibhushida Zadara Dara Zamanda Havalugide Umbezo Om Namo Gashila. Bara 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 Mahajuda Zada Baba Vibhushida Vajra Dara Zamanda Havalugide Umbezo May I maintain faultless morality, the Dharma rules, and immaculate morality. Manipulation of conduct by keeping morality purely and untainted by pride. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be never be separated from the happiness that knows no suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of attachment and hatred for those held close and distant. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings ever be separated from the happiness that knows no suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of attachment and hatred to those held close and distant. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings ever be separated from the happiness that knows no suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of attachment and hatred to those held close and distant. The deities of the field of collecting merit return to their own abodes. Next, the meditation on the self-generation. The natures of myself, deity to be meditated upon, and all phenomena are in essence of one taste and emptiness. From the sphere of emptiness, the aspect of the tone of the mantra, Mani Padme Hum, resounds, pervading the realm of space. My mind, in the aspect of the indifferentiable suchness of myself and the deity, becomes a moon mandala upon which the very aspect of the tone of the mantra resounding in space is set down, having the form of written letters, like very pure mercury adhering to grains of gold. That completely transforms into a thousand-petaled lotus, as brilliant as refined gold, marked at the center by the mantra Hom Mani Padme Hum. From the tips of multicolored light rays emitted from the moon, lotus, and mantra, innumerable holy bodies of the Arya Avalokitesvara spread out, pervading all the realms of space. Great clouds of miraculously emanated offerings are beautifully offered to the Buddhas and their children. From yet another great emanated cloud, a continuous rain of nectar descends, extinguishing the fires of suffering of all migrators of the hells and other realms. They are satisfied with bliss and become Avalokiteshvara. Then the light rays, along with the devotees of the deity, return and enter into one's own mind in the aspect of the moon mandala, lotus, and mantra garland. These transform into a multicolored lotus and moon seat, upon which oneself arises as the Arya Avalokiteshvara, with a white-colored body in the prime of youth and radiating rays of light. Of the 11 faces, the root face is white, the right green, and the left red. Above that, the central face is green, the right red, and the left white. Above that, the central face is red, the right white, and the left green. They also have long, narrow eyes and smiling expressions. Above these is a wrathful black face with barred fangs and wrathful wrinkles, a third eye and orange hair standing upright. On the crown is a peaceful red face with a crown protrusion, having a chaste aspect, devoid of ornaments and with its own neck. The first two hands are folded at the heart and hold a jewel. The second right hand holds a rosary. The third eliminates the hunger and thirst of the hungry ghost by sending down a stream of nectar from the mudra organic sublime realizations, and the fourth holds a wheel. The second left hand holds a golden lotus with a stem. The third holds a water vessel, and the fourth holds a bow and arrow. The remaining 992 hands, as soft as lotus petals, are in the mudra of granting sublime realizations. In the palm of every hand is an eye. The hands do not extend above the crown protrusion nor below the knees. An antelope skin covers the left breast, and there is a lower garment of fine cloth. I am endowed with a golden belt adorned with jewels, and beautified with locks of orange hair. I have a jeweled crown, earrings, necklace, armlets, bracelets, and anklets. Wear garments of various colored silks and radiate rays of white light. At the crown of the central head is a white Om, at the throat a red A, and at the heart a blue Hum. Upon the moon mandala at the heart is a white Shri, with a long vowel and subligand aspiration. Om Bhano Davaye Soham. 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 Light rays radiate from the Hri at the heart, invoking from the natural abode Avalokiteshvara, surrounded by the entire assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Om Harya Lokeshvara Sabare Varavara Maya Dada Om Bam Hom. They become non-dual with oneself, the commitment being. Again, light rays radiate from the He at one's heart, invoking the empowering deities, the five Buddha families with Amitabha as their principal, together with their retinues. Om Panjagura Zaparivaradam Bhadijazuha. Om Panjagura Zaparivaradam Bhadijazuha. Om Panjagura Zaparivaradam Bhadijazuha. Om Panjagula Zabariwam Dube Bhadijazuham. Om Panjagula Zabariwam Aloge Bhadijazuham. Om Panjagula Zabariwam Gende Bhadijazuham. Om Panjaguna Zabari Vagane Vedye Padijazuha. Om Panjaguna Zabari Vagajabda Padijazuha. All Tathagatas, please bestow the empowerment upon me. Requested thus, the goddess dressed in white and the others who are emitted from the Tathagatas' hearts hold aloft vases filled with nectar and say, just as at the very time of birth the David offered ablution to the Buddha, so do I with pure divine water offer ablution to the holy body. Om Sarvada Gada Abhijigada Brahmaya Shriya. They bestow the empowerment. Thereby the entire body is filled and all defilements are purified. From a transformation of the excess water remaining in the crown, the head becomes adorned with Amitabha on the crown, who is in the very nature of one's guru. Blue Akshobhya on the forehead, yellow Ratna Sambhava behind the right ear, white Vajrachana at the back, and green as the Mukhasiddhi behind the left ear. On a moon cushion at one's heart is the exalted wisdom being Arya Avalokiteshvara, with a white-colored holy body, one face, and two eyes. The right hand is in the mood of bestowing sublime realizations, and the left hand holds a lotus at his heart. The moon cushion at his heart is marked by the concentration being a white tree, the long vowel and subsequent aspiration. Om Bam Nanda Great Om Bam Sabawa Shuddha Sawa Dhamma Sabawa Shuddha Om. The offering substances become just empty. From within emptiness, from Brahma syllables, vast and extensive precious vessels arise. Within each the syllable Om melts into light, from which arise drinking water, water for the feet, flowers, incense, lamps, perfume, food, and music. Empty in nature, they have the aspect of the individual types of offerings and function to bestow a special uncontaminated bliss. Om Agama Om Om Padima Om Pujbaya Om Dubaya Om Alogaya Om Geldaya Om Hevedaya Om Jabda Om Arya Lugizara Zabare Vahagam Pradija Zoha Om Arya Lugizara Zabare Varabhanyam Pradija Zoha Om Arya Lugizara Zabare Varabhujbe Pradija Zoha Om Arya Lugizvara Zabari Varadube Pradija Zoha Om Arya Lugizvara Zabari Varahaluge Pradija Zoha Om Arya Lugizvara Zabari Varagende Pradija Zoha Om Arya Lugizvara Zabari Vara Devedye Pradija Zoha Om Arya Lugizvara Zabari Vara Shabda Pradija Zoha. Highly venerated by all the Buddhas, you accumulated all holy qualities and will confer the name of Avalokiteshvara, Prashat, the always merciful one. Om Guru Savatata Dagada Kaya Bhakti Dava Pradamina Savatata Gada Vajra Pada Padanam Garomi. Surrounded by garlands of the mantras to be recited, white in color and sitting clockwise. Light rays radiate from them, filling all the inside of one's body and purifying all negativities and obscurations. Light rays radiate outwards from within an incalculable assembly of deities and the great compassionate one are emitted, purifying the negativities and obscurations of all sentient beings, and setting them in the state of Ayala Bhutiswaran. It then collects back and is dissolved in a tree in one's heart. Urajaya Tadagadayam Arhade Samyak Sambhurayam Namasarva Tadagadevya Devyam Samya Sambhurevya Namarya Bhulu Ruraya Bodhisattvaya Mahasattvaya Mahagarudi Ayada Hondaradara Diri Diri Durudu Idevade Tale Tale Brajale Brajale Kuzume Kuzuma Ware Yulimele Zedimala Mabana Yezwa